All right, I'm getting ready to go here, TJ. All right, it looks like we are live. Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me here at the First Alert Desk. We are happy to have you with us. We have quite a few things that we're following, some major stories that we are really trying to pony up, per se, as we move into Monday because it's hard to get answers on the weekend sometimes. Public officials are doing a lot of other things, and we can only report on what we know, of course, but we are learning substantially new details in a number of stories. And we are previewing some of what is to come. So, one of the big talkers of this weekend, of course, is the massive fire that happened at the Reserve at La Vista Walk apartment complex in Northeast Atlanta. Let's take you back there really quickly. Our Atlanta News First reporter, Asia Wilson, covered this story extensively yesterday, as well as our morning show reporter, Bridget Spencer. Both of them have been doing everything that they can to uncover more details. So what we learned yesterday, later on in the afternoon, I did come on here with this update at least. Let's start with this. This is the newest information that we were able to obtain. This is Robert Stokes and this is Charnel Gunn. Both people were arrested in connection with the massive fire that happened at the apartment complex, and now both people are charged with criminal damage to property and first-degree reckless conduct. So this has sparked a really massive conversation on social media. People have been asking, well, what are the laws? Are we allowed to set fireworks off, outside? So there is some unanswered questions that we are working to uncover tonight to see what are the local laws as it relates to lighting fireworks at an apartment complex and just in the city limits. So really want to clear that up for our viewers tonight and really make sure that everyone has everything they need to know so that this does not happen again. This left hundreds of people without a place to sleep yesterday, and just millions of dollars in damage. So you can see this drone video right here that we were able to get from our Atlanta News First reporter, Joshua Skinner, really detailing just the massive damage that took place out there. So luckily no one was hurt, but we did hear that a cat belonging to an Atlanta Police Department officer did not make it out of the fire. So that is the casualty that is connected to the fire. And again, these are the two suspects that are being charged with criminal damage to property and first-degree reckless conduct. So we're going to dig into that and look for that in our newscast later on tonight. Now, I want to talk a little bit about another story that I have covered extensively. And if you are in Atlanta and you're a reporter, you have at least covered it once or twice. Now, this is the story about the Future Public Safety Training Center. Now, this has garnered a lot of attention. The group that is opposed to the police and fire training center that is being built out into DeKalb County has done everything that they can to get a ballot referendum for this November on the ballot so that voters can decide whether or not they want to see this training center come to life. And unfortunately, they have not been successful yet, and they do have some pending litigation in the courts right now trying to get that on the ballot. But as it relates to this weekend, we are hearing that many of those who are opposed to the site have been gathering and conducting meetings together to get ready for what they are calling a protest that they are planning over the Future Public Safety Training site out in DeKalb County. We are hearing from people that are opposed to the site that they are planning to protest because of the construction that has gotten underway out there. We were told earlier this week that a little bit over 40% of that training center has already been developed out there, and that was really igniting people's concerns out there as far as the people who are opposed to the site. So I want to just do a little bit of a catch up because this story has been going on for 2 years, right? And it's always a new development. I mean, almost every week we have something as it relates to this site. But this is an image that you will likely remember right here. Let's see if I can get it to play out. All right. So this is video from March showing activists throwing fireworks at police officers and setting construction equipment on fire. You can see that depicted here, and you could see some other images that we have collected and some statements. But several of the now defendants are facing separate charges of domestic terrorism, attempted arson in the first degree, and money laundering. Of the 61 defendants who have been indicted, 13 of them are from Georgia. We do know that a lot of these people are outside agitators. Attorney General Chris Carr says that the defendants worked together in 225 illegal incidents as part of this criminal enterprise, is what they're calling it, and that's why many of them are charged with RICO. And now we're hearing again that several people who are opposed to this site are going to be back out there tomorrow protesting it. So also something that took place as it relates to the fireworks you just saw there. What we did hear from police officers is that several people who were opposed to this site went to what was a concert outdoors, and then several of them changed their clothes and then were in riot gear, masks, all black clothing, and then pursued police, according to police officers who are part of this investigation. That's what was told to us here at Atlanta News First. So a lot happening, and we are just trying to make sure that we are keeping a very close eye on their movements, their meetings, their protests that are planned, because they have caused quite an uproar in the community. So we are going to be having our Atlanta News First reporter, Yasmina Alston, working on those developments tonight. She has heard that they do have some type of gathering taking place around 7 o'clock tonight, that there's a dinner involved too. I've gone to several of these meetings where many of the activists are speaking about why they don't want to see the future public safety training site, and then they also have dinner after. So we're going to see if anything else comes out of that meeting tonight, if any of them are willing to talk to us. And of course, if they are, you will hear about it right here on the First Alert desk, as well as Atlanta News First at 10 and 11 o'clock. We also have another update at 8 p.m. with my colleague, Carly Barnett, who comes on here, and we'll hopefully get some more answers around that hour. So make sure that you stick around for that. But overall, those are the top two stories I felt that you needed to know about, because that's really what you're going to see into Monday. We're going to learn more about what these people are. Maybe some more videos may come out as it relates to the fire that took place at this apartment complex. We're going to hopefully hear from the apartment complex and the owners of that apartment complex. And then we're going to hear about the local laws here in Metro Atlanta as it relates to lighting fireworks tonight. So we'll have more answers from investigators tomorrow on that. And then also just the history of the apartment complex, sprinkler systems, every other fire mitigation strategy that was in place at the time of this fire. We're going to get some more details on that. And then lastly, we are going to hear some more information, hopefully from those opposed to the site, on what their plans are this week as it relates to upcoming potential protests. And if we do hear of those protests, we will be out there and covering all of that from front to back. So you can count on Atlanta News First. We have an amazing team of journalists that have done everything that we can to make sure that we know every development that the protesters and those opposed to this site are planning, are talking about, are looking to get out in the community, and as well as what law enforcement is telling us as it relates to that site and what they know. And just this week, we covered many of them having their arraignments and court appearances, and then many of them had to turn themselves into jail because of the charges that they are facing. Several of them did bail out, and my colleague Patrick Quinn did cover that extensively, and you can find that story on AtlantaNewsFirst.com. So I won't bog you down with any more details, but that's going to be a main story to look out for tomorrow, as well as more details to come from the fire that we're talking about tonight. So hopefully we see you on air tonight at 10 and 11 o'clock, and back here on the First Alert desk on YouTube at 8 p.m. So thank you so much for joining me here, and hopefully you have a good rest of your weekend, and we will see you on the other side.